Welcome to Travs Talk. I'm Stephen Davis. I'm your host. Let's get to know Travs 2020 manager Dave Berg a little bit better, and we'll dive into some baseball-related topics as well. Bergie, this has been obviously a strange 2 months with spring training getting hit with the pause button, and now no season here as we get past Memorial Day. Take us through what you've been doing these last 2 months, where you are, and who you're with.
Well, obviously it was a shock when this whole thing started. We were getting ready. We had the position players, minor league position players, guys just showing up. We were getting ready to start the regular full spring training, and then this happened, and they sent us home. And, you know, I've been home with the family, spent a lot of time here, doing a lot of cooking, trying to get better with the barbecue. Obviously that's not helping, but other than that, just eating here a lot and spending time with the family.
Awesome. Hey, what's a standard day for you like right now? Do you schedule it out with some work time? Are you guys doing video calls to stay in touch with folks around the Mariners organization?
Yeah, we do. We every Wednesday we have a managers call. The managers get on, the coordinators will get on, and we'll have some homework to do. We're watching podcasts, we're watching videos, we're doing some reading, and you know, we're just kind of throwing things out there and trying to get better. Since we can't do it on the field, we're trying to get better within the group. And you know, Tuesdays we got a group call with the hitting coaches, and all the hitting guys and managers are on that too. And then Wednesdays, the managers, and then Thursdays, the pitching group. So 3 days a week, we got the conference calls, and we're just on there just trying to throw things out there.
Awesome. It sounds like a great way to stay in touch. But for all you guys, but yourself in particular, you've been in baseball your whole adult life. How hard has it been to not have a season going and live games happening every day?
Yeah, you know, we should be playing Midland tonight. I look at the schedule and kind of see who we're supposed to be playing, just to kind of feel somewhat normal. But obviously being home at this time is actually really weird. You know, I'm not used to being home when it starts to get really hot here in Texas. I'm usually some other part of the country, but you know, definitely different and hard. And you know, I would love to say can't wait to get going again, but we don't know when that is.
No, we don't. We'll wait and see and do what we're told. Are you doing anything baseball related, getting out there at all to a field or a backyard or anywhere to do anything with the ball?
Well, every once in a while I'll go up to the facility that my son is involved with and go up there and throw to him and a couple of his little friends and hit him some ground balls, and that's about it.
So would you say you're in BP throwing shape right now, or is the arm a little weak?
Well, as I get older, it's harder for me to recuperate, and I usually could throw a day and I'll usually take a day off and then throw another day. But, you know, I'm almost 50 now. This arm is throwing a lot of balls, and it's hard for me to throw every day now.
I hear you. I'm not quite there, but I can imagine it would be tough. I admire you guys getting out there and chucking batting practice every day. Let's rewind a bit to March, mid-March, when everything got shut down. You guys got sent home. You were talking about it. Where was things in spring training? Was it just starting to ramp up? Were you starting to maybe figure out a little bit who might be on the Travs roster for this year?
Well, we weren't quite at that point. You know, the minor league, AA staff, we had just gotten sent down from big league camp, and we had seen a lot of the pitchers. A lot of the pitchers had been in minor league camp, but, you know, we were right at the point where all the position players, actually the day that we had our meeting and they sent everybody home, they had only been there like a day or two. So, you know, obviously there was a lot of guys that we hadn't seen yet, but you know, we were just getting ready to get going.
Wow, tough time. Who had caught your eye of the few guys you had seen? Did anybody jump out and you go, wow, that guy looks really good so far this year?
Well, obviously Kellan Ik, you know, every time you see him, he's just he's a man against boys. You know, he's a talented guy, and he's really driven, and I'm looking for big things from him.
He is a special one. We got to see Kellan Ik at the end of last season with the Travs. You also had him last year when you managed the A-ball team in West Virginia at the beginning of the season. I want to ask you about a couple of the guys you had last year in West Virginia, including Kellan Ik to start, since we saw him at the end of last season. What makes him so special in your eyes?
Well, obviously the tools, but the maturity. You know, he's 19 years old now, but at that point, you know, he was only 1 year removed from high school, and he was playing against 22, 23-year-olds, and his talent level is really high, but the knowledge he has of himself and his swing and what he can do is kind of like a separator for me. He's so advanced as far as knowing his swing and his approach at the plate. He does things at his age that, I never did. And I played in the big leagues a little bit, but to have that skill set and also the knowledge of what he knows he can do is off the charts.
We heard some great Kellan Ik stories from the end of last season about him predicting things that were going to happen in his next at bat and then delivering on it. You got any good Kellan Ik stories from the beginning of the season in West Virginia?
Actually, I don't, because I was always in the third base coach's box, so it was kind of hard for him to tell me.
Well, he is a special talent. There was a special talent that you had on the mound last year for a few starts who got to us in Arkansas at the end of last season, Logan Gilbert. He looks like the total package. How special is he for you?
He's advanced also. Obviously he went to college, but he's got the 4-pitch repertoire, and he throws all his pitches for strikes, and he's got plus velo. He's got plus pitches, and his ability to throw them all for strikes. And he's another guy that is very in tune with himself too. He's very into the analytics and the computer part of the pitching process. When they're throwing bullpens, it's giving you the spin rate and the spin direction and all that, and he is in tune with that. And these guys are nowadays, they're very advanced as far as that goes. Back in my day, it was just see it and hit it, whereas these guys are getting so much information, and he's on top of that. And once again, he's a guy who's very advanced with his skill set and also with what's going on in the game today.
So Kellan Ik and Gilbert, start with you last year in low A, get to us in double A. You had a couple other guys who had very good seasons for you in West Virginia and got to the high A level, and looked like if they didn't start in double A this year, we're going to get here at some point. I want to ask you about each of them. First, an outfielder in Julio Rodriguez, who's even younger than Kellan Ik. Well, how special does Julio have a chance to be?
He's another one. You can't say enough of what Jerry's done with our organization as far as acquiring players, but Julio came from the Dominican, obviously a physical guy. He looks like A-Rod. He's wow. Big, he's strong, he's got the baby blue eyes. Once again, for his age, he's advanced. He's got a top-notch skill set, and very mature for his age. It's almost like you're talking to a 30-year-old man when you're talking to him in the clubhouse. He's just very mature, and he picks things up very quickly. So if you have any advice for him or whatever, he will get it, and he will make an adjustment within the next day. He's very advanced.
We hear Jared Kellan Ik, Julio Rodriguez kind of thrown as a package, two guys that are lumped together a lot as they move up through the system. Kind of compare and contrast them. How are they similar? How are they different?
Kellan Ik is a little more hot-headed. Julio's more calm. Things don't get to Julio as easily as they do Jared, but I've thought about it quite a few times, and nobody's really asked me like who's going to be better out of the two players, and I don't know if I could choose. Like it's they're both that talented and that good.
It's awesome. Hey, a guy you had at the back end of the bullpen last year who continued to pitch well when he got to high A last season, Daison Arias. Is he a guy we should be keeping an eye on for double A down the road?
Absolutely. I think if, we would have kicked off, we would have seen him at some point last year. Plus arm, plus spin rate, his ball kind of spins kind of funky. Guys have a hard time because it almost spins like a slider, but it stays straight. And I think that's kind of what messes guys up. But obviously a great kid, likes to have a lot of fun. We enjoyed having him last year, and he became one of my, most favorite guys to hang around and be with. He's obviously learning English. He's just a fun kid to be around, and obviously his skill set is really good. And I guess he was supposed to start in Modesto, but I'm sure we would have saw him in Double A.
Hey, I know you always like getting guys as soon as you can and challenging them, but we appreciate Dave Berg, 2020 Travs manager, being with us here on Travs Talk. Now for the fun part. It's time to go around the horn. 9 innings, 9 quick questions to get to know Dave Berg a little bit better. You ready for this?
I hope so.
All right, here we go. First question. During this 2-month period, call it quarantine, call it stay-at-home orders, whatever you want to call it, what's the one thing you've had more time to do and been able to do than you ever thought you would have time to do?
Eat. Absolutely eat.
Have you gained weight?
Yes, I have.
Do you want to give us the number?
I have.
Do you want to give us the number? Okay.
No chance. But yeah, obviously being home and not really doing much, a lot of time to go to the fridge, go to the little counter there and grab anything.
All right. We got to get you back on that cardio plan at some point then.
Yes.
Maybe not yet, though. Hey, so you've had a bunch of free time, it sounds like. Are you watching TV or are you reading books? Give us either a show watching recommendation or a book reading recommendation.
A show watching recommendation. You know what? I watch a lot of the Discovery Channel, History Channel, so there's not really too many shows that are new on that. You know, my wife watches, different kind of shows than I do. So actually, I don't really have like a new one. I don't.
What's your favorite show on Discovery or History Channel? Because I'm big on those too.
I used to watch Ice Road Truckers, but I like Gold Rush. I like the 4x4 guys, the Diesel Brothers. Yellowstone. My wife just told me Yellowstone. I totally forgot about that one. Yeah, but okay, Yellowstone.
Yellowstone
I changed my mind. Yes.
There we go. Always listen to your wife. You're a smart guy.
Yes. I totally forgot about that too. I mean, I love that show. Last 2 seasons I was locked in on it, and it's coming season number 3 and I'm looking forward to it.
All right, let's move on to inning number 3 here. You're a baseball guy. What's your favorite sport other than baseball?
Probably golf. I'm not very good at it, but I enjoy watching golf.
Do you play too?
Try to occasionally. During the season, if we have a day off, I'll try to go out if there's a couple guys that are going. But I don't go that often. But I just enjoy watching them because they're so good. And when I was in Greensboro, there was a PGA Tour event that came through, and our GM got us out there and we walked the course with a couple guys, and it's amazing how good those guys are. 3 guys will hit and their ball will be within 15 feet of each other all the way throughout the whole course, except I think the thing that makes them different is their ability to get close to the pin and obviously their ability to putt, but they're just so good and I'm so not good. It's remarkable how good they are.
Life goals for you, life goals. All right, you mentioned Greensboro. You managed several stops in the Marlins system. You're managing in the Mariners system now. What's your favorite part about being a manager, particularly a minor league manager?
I think just the involvement with the players, getting to know the guys and connecting with them. You're going to run into guys who were not drafted, who end up playing in the big leagues. And then there's obviously high round picks who don't reach the big leagues. So the ability to connect with the guys and make an impact is the most enjoyable part, and actually getting to know guys and their families and just being part of their lives.
All right, you talked about how tough it's been for you to be away from the field, away from guys right now. What are you most looking forward to whenever we get back to a baseball field? What are you most looking forward to being able to do?
Just the same thing, just being in the clubhouse with the guys. Going out and playing is fun, but I think, and it's like me, like when I retired, I didn't miss playing when I retired. The thing I missed most was just being in the clubhouse with the guys, the time you spend with them. Obviously, riding those buses, and we spend more time with the fellas than we do our families.
Mm-hmm. It is something that is unique to baseball. All right, you mentioned you played. You've got a couple jerseys from your playing days with the Blue Jays up on the wall behind you. Who's the best player you played with? Best player you played with in your time in baseball?
Probably Vernon Wells. I was like a 4th-year guy in Toronto, and he was a rookie, and he's another guy. He had 5 tools. He could really hit. He could throw. He could run. He's got power. He's got speed. He just had everything. He got compensated very well for what he's done in the game, but I kind of thought he would last a little longer as far as how good he was. He did have some very good years, but talent-wise, he's probably one of the best ones I've played with.
Very cool. Hey, you mentioned you like to eat. Let's go food for a minute here. Minor leagues, you have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches occasionally. It happens back in your playing days, now in your coaching and managing days. On your peanut butter and jelly sandwich, grape jelly, strawberry jelly, or do you go wild card and go something else?
Oh, no, strawberry.
Yeah, my man.
Got to go strawberry. There's nothing else that compares.
Very good, very good. All right, bus trip. Bus stops at a gas station, truck stop somewhere, middle of the night, you're hungry. What's your go-to road trip snack at a gas station?
Probably Doritos or popcorn.
What kind of Doritos?
Just the nacho cheese, just regular. I don't like the flavors too much.
You're a pretty plain guy, it sounds like.
Pretty simple.
All right, last question. We're to the 9th inning now. favorite baseball movie?
Oh, Bull Durham. It's got to be Bull Durham.
Any particular reason?
No, it's kind of realistic to a point.
That's how guys actually talk down in the dugout, for folks who don't know?
Oh yeah.
Pitching coaches go out and do the wedding gift thing?
Not quite that, but I guess the managing part is a little bit more realistic.
Okay. It does sound like a realistic movie from our end. Dave Berg, thanks for the time. We appreciate it. Great job, and hope to see you soon.
Yeah, me too. Thanks for having me.
That's Dave Berg, 2020 Travs manager. This has been Travs Talk.